How we doing, Niner fans? Yeah, the 49ers just wrapped up their sixth game of the season, and they did not win. The 49ers lost to the Cleveland Browns today, 19-17 in Cleveland. Um, man, that was a brutal loss. That was a upsetting loss. That was a tough loss because it wasn't just a loss. 49ers had a lot of injuries in this game, and it was heartbreaking because the 49ers had the chance to win the game, man. They got all the way down uh, to the Browns' other side of the field. Jake Moody lined up for a 41-yard field goal, and he missed it, man. He just wide out there, wide right. He missed two big kicks today, a 54-yarder, and he missed that. If he would have hit one of those, Niners win the game. And I feel bad for him. He's going to get clowned. I know a lot of people are coming for his neck. There's going to be a lot of people say, yo, get Robbie Gould. He's clutch. These were the moments that we were hoping that Moody would nail down. It's unfortunate for him. It's unbelievable. You got to hit those, though. You're a third-round kicker. You got to hit that shit, man. At the end of the day, that's what you're getting paid for. You got to hit those kicks. But the 49ers shouldn't have even been in that position. I mean, on paper, the 49ers look like the better team. I mean, they're the best team in the NFL all week. We were leading up to it, all the hype. I feel like the 49ers got a little humble today, and I think that's what's warranted. I think the 49ers should have been humble today. I think there was a lot of confidence, myself included. I was like, I think the Niners are going to come out and cook them. I feel like they're going to destroy them. They've just been looking so much better. It's been tough. It's been rough these last couple of weeks in terms of, always winning and all the pressure. But today it got to them because I feel like the 49ers, I think today, ran into a buzzsaw, and that Cleveland Browns defense was something else. They were physical. They were taking these players down. I mean, before the game even started, there was a fight. They had a fight before the game started. I mean, man, they were rough. And then Myles Garrett was coming and bringing his pressure today. The offensive line could not handle Cleveland Browns pass rush, man. Colton McKivitz today looked like Colton McKivitz. Like, we said it before. We said, will he be able to handle the pressure of Myles Garrett? And I'll tell you what, man, right tackle's still an issue. The 49ers offensive line is still trying to be stabilized. They were in Brock's face a lot today, and Brock Purdy did not have a good game today. This was his worst game that he's played for the 49ers. He threw his first interception. He looked rattled today. He looked shook. They were in bad field position for most of the game. He just looked very, very bad, man. And, I feel bad for Brock because the whole media all week, it's going to be, I told you so. Brock Purdy is a system quarterback. Brock's not good. He had a bad game, and everybody has bad games. But this was his first, really, really bad game. But it was one of the best defenses he's played. So it's going to be a lot of media projections on Brock. A lot of media is going to, say he's terrible, this, that, and the other. And, now he's got to rebound. He's got to come back from this game and have a really strong performance. How are you going to respond to having a bad game? Because we really haven't seen that from Brock. So now we're going to see how Brock responds to an adverse situation, because this was a bad game for Brock. Although that last drive, he was cooking, man. He was cooking on that last drive. Him and Ayuk started to finally find some connections. Juwan Jennings. And again, that last drive was nice, but it was too little too late. A lot of drop passes by Brandon Ayuk, another guy who needed to step up, and he made some big drops. To me, the biggest takeaway was Christian McCaffrey is the NFL MVP. Like, he's the MVP of this team. As much as I love Brock and as much as we've been giving him his credit, today it showed that CMC is the secret sauce. He's that guy. He's the one that makes this 49ers offense better. If there was any doubt before, was it Brock, was it CMC? It's CMC. Last year when he came to this team, the team changed dramatically. The offense took off. You could see it today. When he wasn't there, the offense was stagnant. They were really trying to take him out. And that's what these teams are doing. They are targeting CMC. They are trying to take him out of this game. And, man, shout out to CMC. He tried to play through it. He had an oblique injury. He was stretching on the sideline. You could tell he was in so much pain, man. I mean, at some point, they got to help out CMC. And a lot of you guys have been saying it in the chat. Give CMC some help. Take him out. Play him less. Today, it caught up with him, man. It came up with it. Yeah, I mean, it caught up with him. That's really what it is. It was tough to see Christian McCaffrey out there just struggling, and getting, on the sideline, just not feeling good, because he does everything for this team. You could tell Kyle was a little rattled himself in calling the plays. Like Kyle didn't know what to do without CMC, without a solid run game. He was a little lost, man, and it took him out because he didn't have Deebo, he didn't have Christian McCaffrey. Deebo's so good with the motion. He kind of gets everybody set to start the plays. He gets the defense a little bit guessing, and he's that catalyst, right? He wasn't there. They tried to put Ray in that position. It just didn't have the same juice. And then you didn't have Christian McCaffrey. And Jordan Mason ran hard. He played his butt off, but he's just not, Christian McCaffrey. I do think they need to give a little bit more action to Jordan Mason. He played good, man. He played well, but it just wasn't enough. He just doesn't have the same juice as a Christian McCaffrey. But it was a tough loss. Every team has a tough loss. You can't expect this team to win every game. One of those things that a lot of people have said, and we talked about this earlier in the week, is the 49ers seem to play down to their opponents. There's always a game out there that you're like, how did they lose this game? How did they lose this game? This was it last year to the Atlanta Falcons. The other night, Friday, me and Bash were here talking prediction show, and he says, I feel like this could be a trap game, kind of like the Falcons. Marcus Mariota, we mentioned him last year, cooked us up. And today, PJ Walker was dicing. He was slicing and dicing in that second half. He did everything he could. I mean, shout out to Deommodore Lenoir. He was playing tough. He got some cramps on him. He slipped a few times, but man, when he was locked in, he made a big time interception. But PJ Walker, man, respect where respect is due. Everybody thought that the Browns were going to get dog walked because no Deshaun Watson, and PJ Walker came out and he cooked. He cooked when he needed to. But I will say this: I don't want to make any excuses, but those referees, bro, oh my god. Oh my God! I want to get to that, but Big Time says Walker looked way better as a QB than Brock. He did, man. Walker looked like the better quarterback today. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm just not a hate. It just we call it like I see it. Again, this gonna define Brock Purdy? No way. He's gonna play better, but this definitely was not a good game for Brock Purdy. Dre says I told people not to underestimate Walker, and I got crucified. You know what? You probably did. A lot of people were probably saying you're stupid, but guess what, man? If that's what you said all week, you look good today because he sliced and diced this defense, man. 49ers, I don't know if they got off the plane right. I don't know if they were tired. I don't know if they just got punched in the mouth by the Browns, but they did not play their game. The defense kind of woke up towards, that second half. It looked like they were going to make a little bit of a run. Shout out to Randy Gregory. He made a big impact today. Javon Hargrave was in there. Nick Bosa did his thing. This team was trying as hard as they can. But one guy that stood out that wasn't even in the game was Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw not being in the game was huge. You could tell they were running on him. They were doing what they wanted. They exposed the 49ers in certain aspects of the defensive game without Dre Greenlaw. Dre Greenlaw is so important. Like, I love Fred Warner. He had the interception. He was clutch money today, but he can't do everything that Dre does. He couldn't play for both of them. You can see they need both of those guys to succeed in that middle. Like, they were running on him. Dre is definitely missed on this team. I hope he comes back next week because he's a dog and he is needed so bad. You could tell his presence in the middle was huge. It was hugely missed. Like Oren Burks, I know he tried to step up, and Demetrius Flanagan fouls. Like, shout out to them. They tried, but they're not the same as Dre Greenlaw. So I know you guys want to get the injury updates. Let's see. I'm not watching Kyle, obviously, because I'm talking to y'all, but let's see what is up on the timeline right now. So Kyle Shanahan says that Christian McCaffrey is an oblique rib injury, so that's what they're dealing with. We'll have more updates tomorrow, I'm sure, when Kyle addresses the media, but there's no absolute injury update on Deebo Samuel. They're still looking into it. It was a shoulder, that's why he left. But we'll see as the updates keep coming in. But yeah, Christian McCaffrey has an oblique and rib injury. This is what Kyle Shanahan said today. I'm reading some tweets right now. He says it wasn't just Brock, it was everybody. Everybody had their turn on offense, and it starts with me. Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan says it starts with me. He took some accountability there. So, yeah, Kyle Shanahan definitely didn't call his best game. You can tell without a running back, he just wasn't calling the plays. They were backed up a lot, though. They were in bad field position. This definitely wasn't one of the best Kyle Shanahan call games. Again, O-line didn't look good today. It just was not a good game offensively. They went from scoring 30 points easily to they couldn't score 20 points today. So definitely all aspects of offense were not looking good. And, hey, shout out to Kyle. Took a little accountability there. It starts with him, and I like that about that. So, Maryland said the press conference. Yeah, I'm reading some tweets right here. So Let's take a look. But, at the end of the day, Niners are 5-1. So, we're crying over nothing. We can't sit here and be too upset. Although, these types of wins would be needed, character building games. Had the 49ers won this game, I feel like it would have been really nice for them. Like, oh my God, adversity, they grinded out a win. It would have been nice to sit here and say we grinded out a win. But, it is an AFC opponent. So in the grand scheme of things, I guess it doesn't have huge impact on it. But, we got to look at the rest of the NFC. The Cowboys, they've lost twice. We beat them once. Eagles are playing right now. They're up on the Jets. We still got to hope that the Niners can, not lose too many games like this. Again, you don't want to lose to a game that you're better than. The 49ers are a better team. But, hey, shout out to the Browns. They had a tough defensive team, and they hit. Let me tell you something. The 49ers got hit in the mouth today. They're usually the bullies, but I think they got out-bullied today by the Cleveland Browns. I don't know what you guys think. All-Star says, fun to watch y'all lose to P.J. Walker. I know a lot of Niner haters are happy today. My phone was blowing up. So enjoy it. Niner haters, it is what it is, man. Y'all can enjoy the game because it's fun to see teams that you hate lose. Like last week, it was so fun to see the Cowboys lose. We made fun of them. Niners are going to get made fun of today. That's how it goes, man. It is what it is. But tough loss. Got to bounce back. Niners are still 5-1 at the end of the day. Still one of the top teams in the NFC. But definitely tough loss to stomach, man. And it's just the way they lost because the 49ers still could have won that game. Jake Moody misses the field goal. And those penalties, man, let's talk about those penalties. Again, I'm not trying to make any excuses here, but come on, man. Those penalties were silly. Like the Tashawn Gibson hit, clean hit. Even the announcers were like, what are you talking about? And then the Mooney Ward play. Right after that, Mooney Ward got flagged. It was like the weakest type of hit. And they flagged him. Just so many bad tic-tac penalties, man. 49ers just did not have the ball go their way. And those penalties were rough, man. I'm looking at it right now. The penalty on Tashawn Gibson, man. He came, hit some clean, and then they called a penalty on him. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe that they got called. Those penalties were rough, man. Were rough. Absolutely rough, man. And then there was the fumble play, right? There was the fumble. Nick Bosa scoops it up. There should have been a fumble recovered by the 49ers. I'm looking at it about 30 seconds before the half, the first half. And they ruled it as incomplete. And then they reviewed it, and they said it was a forward lateral type play. Or, intentional grounding. They said it was intentional grounding. That was crazy. That should have been a fumble recovered by the 49ers. So that was one play. The Tashawn Gibson play was brutal. And then the Mooney Ward play right after that was absolutely brutal too. So, those plays really kept the Browns in it, man. It was momentum changers. If the 49ers get that fumble before half and put some points on the board, it's a whole different ballgame. So those little moments changed the game. The Gibson play, the Ward play changed the game. It allowed the Browns to go and score the ball. So, little things like that, man. Little things like that. It's unfortunate, but yeah. Got to win those games. Jake Moody's got to tighten up. It was an unfortunate turn of events. Because, again, the 49ers still had a chance to win, man. Brock Purdy, as bad as he played, as tough as he looked, his first interception in 185 snaps this season, finally throws a pick. Wasn't his best, but that fourth quarter, that last drive, he was dealing. They were coming down the field. And Jake Moody had a chance to redeem the whole team, just to redeem the whole squad. And that was a bad miss. So Jake's got to tighten up, man. That must be tough on him mentally. Hopefully these injuries aren't too bad because I think the biggest takeaway from this game, like not only did the 49ers lose, like, yeah, it sucks, but they got a lot of injuries. Deebo, CMC, Dre Greenlaw didn't play today. Hopefully he's ready to go. The good news is the 49ers get a little bit of extra rest. They don't have to play next Sunday. They play Monday night. So you get a little bit more of a, rest, an extra day to prepare. So maybe that extra day will help them. But, hopefully these injuries aren't too bad. That was rough. I saw Diamond Lenore go down a couple times. He had cramps. This was a grind out game, man. And it was a physical hit you in the mouth game. Going to the East Coast, traveling from the West Coast, it's not easy, man. And I feel like that was another part of the impact on this team. We said it a couple days ago, man. Traveling, early game, these guys have to wake up. They've been staying home for the last couple weeks, West Coast time games. Late game, actually. Last week was Sunday Night Football, late game. So this early start is a big transition, man. And this team definitely looked like they were flat It just didn't look like they had the juice today. Oh man, the real Spider-Man says, "I hope Jake Moody gets home safe." I hope so too. Ted says, "On to prime time." It's actually Monday Night Football next week. Prime time Monday night. So yeah, on to the next one. Tough. Tyler says the silver lining is Gregory looks solid. Hey, absolutely. If there wasn't too many silver linings in a game like this. But yo, shout out to Randy Gregory. Trade already looks like fire. He had like 3 tackles. A tackle for loss is one of them, and he had a sack. He was making impact, man. Shout out to Randy Gregory. He was playing his tail off. So yeah, definitely a silver lining. Trade deadline, I believe, is the 21st or the 23rd. I can't remember the exact date, but it was 21st or 23rd. So, we got a Deebo Samuel update. Let's see. We just got some news on Deebo Samuel. Let's see what we got. Let's see what we got. The shoulder x-rays on Deebo Samuel's shoulders came back negative. There will be an MRI, but I'm told the team believes he will be fine after getting injured. So, MRI will tell the full story. 49ers wide receiver Deebo Samuel shoulder x-ray came back negative. There we go. According to Jordan Schultz, big news, ladies and gentlemen. Deebo Samuel's shoulder is apparently okay. It was negative, so that's huge news for the 49ers. But they do have to see what it looks like in the MRI. We'll probably get those results tomorrow. So a rough break, man, for the 49ers, but it could have been worse. Thankfully, it wasn't, a major injury, but it still could be something that, impacts the game. Let's see. Let's see. Okay. I'm going to post this up here. Shout out to Jordan Schultz. He had that up there. So, man, that's rough. That's rough, though. Rough to see that, man. What's up with CMC? Again, they just said that it's an oblique injury. They're not 100% sure right now. So, let's see. Man, that's rough. I hope he's okay. We need Deebo, man. Let's see. Julia says, bright spot was Bosa. Yeah, Bosa looked good. He looked healthy. He had a clutch play. That sack at the end was huge. D looked good. Just had a lot of the penalties. I mean, those penalties definitely didn't hurt him, but they didn't look good at spots. There was times where they looked like they were really lacking. But overall, the defense did try to play they played tough, man. The defense did play very hard. They gave it their all. Again, it was one of those games where both teams were just hitting each other in the mouth, man. Let's see. Losing to below 500 team with the third string. They were 2-2, so they were a 500 team. Yeah, they did have a third string quarterback. But again, the 49ers, they tend to play down to their opponents sometimes. You're not going to lose all these games, or you're not going to win every game. I mean, if you look at it, every team has bad games. The Cowboys lost to the Cardinals a few weeks ago. So, it is what it is. The 49ers, it was a close one. Every dog has their day, man. I just think that this actually might have been a good loss for the 49ers, if that's even a thing. The fact of the matter is the 49ers, they needed a little bit of humbling. I feel like I know I've been confident on the 49ers. Maybe the 49ers were confident in themselves. Maybe they overlooked the Browns. Maybe it was a trap game. But at the end of the day, man, you got to bounce back from this. And now we got to see how the 49ers are going to be able to bounce back from a game like this. I feel like the O-line needs to be spoken to a little bit. O-line definitely didn't play the best. They need to step up for sure. Chiefs lost to the Lions. Yeah, Mahomes been throwing picks left and right. Yeah, us, Joe. It's not like the 49ers are the only teams losing to other teams that they should beat. Like, people think we should beat them. But, hey, that's why they say any given Sunday, tough loss. But I'm hoping that Philly can lose this game, man. I'm rooting for Robert Saleh right now. We'll see what happens. Has CMC ever injured his oblique before, Vamp? I don't think so. I know he's had some hamstring, some knee issues here and there. I don't think he's had an oblique injury, but I got to go look back and dig in the archives of his injury history throughout the years. I'm not 100% sure, but, man, you can just definitely tell CMC was just not feeling good. He was so stressed, man. Stressed. He was on the sidelines trying to loosen up. He wasn't looking too hot, man. I felt bad for Christian McCaffrey, man. He's been the heart and soul of this offense. And again, this game really proved that Christian McCaffrey is the team's MVP. Like, he is that guy. He's the offense. Like, without him, this team really, really struggled. Again, Kyle Shanahan, he didn't look like he was in his bag. Brock Purdy had the worst game of his career. Defense, they were good in spots, but they didn't look 100% throughout the game, although they held the team to 19 points. So let's sit here and be honest. It wasn't like they played horrible. They just missed a couple spots. And, you let P.J. Walker dice you up a little bit. But, again, those penalties, they didn't help. And then the missed fumble call was atrocious. Again, the 49ers still could have won this game. Wasn't the prettiest game. It's a game the 49ers are going to wish they had again. But, hey, Niners are 5-1. It could be worse. They got to bounce back. And next week they play the Vikings. Is what it is. You got to bounce back and hopefully that the rest of these players aren't too injured. Again, Deebo Samuel, x-rays on his shoulder came back negative. They're going to be looking for an MRI. We'll have those results soon. Christian McCaffrey, we don't know 100% yet. It is an oblique injury. We'll get the updates on that. 49ers 5-1. Unfortunate loss. But, we got to dust off, ride again, man. But, let's see a couple questions. Appreciate you guys for hopping in the stream. Appreciate all the comments in the chat, even the haters out there. I love y'all too. You give me the engagement, so it is what it is. Make sure you hit the like button on the channel. Make sure you subscribe, all that good stuff. Let's take a couple of questions, then I'm going to end it. I'll probably hop on to Instagram in a minute. Let's take a look. I'll let you guys drop a couple questions on there. I'm going to post the Deebo Samuel news on Instagram while we wait for a couple of comments and questions on the chat there. Do we bounce back? Says the real Spider-Man. Absolutely, man. It was a tough. Like I said, you're not gonna win every game, man. You're gonna lose some. You're gonna win some. 5-1. The Niners have been dominating until today. I think it was a reality call. I think it was a wake-up call. I think the 49ers looking themselves in the mirror and they say, okay, we got to wake up. That was a good reality check for the 49ers because they can't be playing like this down the stretch. And again, injuries didn't help them. So I feel like at the end of the day, the Niners will bounce back. They got the Vikings next week. I think the 49ers are going to be all about business, and they know they can't be playing games like this. Again, I just think that maybe they were a little tired. They weren't executing. They didn't come out too hot this week. So I think they'll bounce back. I think they'll figure it out. These guys are tough. These guys are a great team. They got too many star players to not be able to bounce back from this. The 49ers have started worse than this over the years. Remember, they were like 2-3, 2-4. Remember all those years where they started slow and then they had to bounce back all those years? But you know what? I think the 49ers are still off to a great start. 5-1. You're going to lose a few games like this. So I think they'll bounce back next week against the Vikings. Not too worried about it. It was a frustrating game. It was a frustrating game. And it was more of it was kind of like a heartbreaking game because, again, the 49ers still could have won this game. But it was just one of those games where you're like, what the fuck, man? It just was one of those weird games. Like I said, the Atlanta game last year, it gave me the same vibe. Like the 49ers should have just dog walked the team, right? They were better on paper. They looked better in all aspects of the game. They got superstars in the team and some quarterback that you're like, how is he looking like Patrick Mahomes, right? Last year, Mariota. This year, P.J. Walker. So I feel like it was a similar type of vibe. 49ers just did not come out firing on all cylinders, but I think the 49ers will bounce back next week. I have no doubts. Make a move for Horn. Is Horn injured? I think he might be hurt, but if he's healthy, yeah. 49ers definitely need cornerback depth. Well, let's talk about that. The 49ers need oh, no. I just got an update. Trent Williams is in an orthopedic boot. Oh, no.